Next, we will talk about ethos and moral accountability. Principle 10 is that moral responsibility requires intelligibility. If authority shapes obligation, then one further requirement follows necessarily. A person can only be held morally responsible for what can be understood. Obligation presupposes intelligibility, so it is unjust to demand obedience from what cannot be known. In classical rhetoric, persuasion presupposes comprehension. A speaker clarifies in order to persuade, defines in order to argue, and explains in order to bind judgment. Rhetoric assumes that hearers are capable of understanding, responsible for understanding, and accountable because meaning is accessible. No rhetorician blames the hearer for failing to grasp what was never made intelligible. Under natural law, responsibility follows knowledge. Guilt presupposes awareness, and justice requires fairness. This is why all just systems distinguish between willful disobedience and ignorance, clarity and confusion, instruction and deception. To punish without intelligibility is not justice, it is tyranny. Natural law therefore requires that authority speak clearly enough to bind conscience. Scripture consistently ties judgment to understanding. In Luke chapter 12, verse 47, it says that a servant knew his master's will shall be beaten with many stripes. Knowledge increases culpability. Or in following, but he who did not know yet committed things deserving of stripes, he shall be beaten with few. Ignorance, to a degree, mitigated guilt. In Deuteronomy 30, verse 11, this commandment is not hidden from you, nor is it far off. God binds because he reveals clearly. Divine judgment presupposes intelligibility. When intelligibility is denied, justice is undermined, authority becomes arbitrary, and interpretation becomes manipulation. When people are blamed for what could not be known, justice is undermined. Genesis 18:25, far be it from you to do such a thing. Shall not the judge of all the earth do what is right? Authority becomes arbitrary. Commands lose moral legitimacy. When obscurity is used to control rather than instruct, interpretation becomes manipulation. Scripture condemns such abuse. This principle does not require total comprehension, technical mastery, or elimination of mystery. It does require sufficient clarity for obedience, accessible meaning for responsibility. Scripture affirms this balance. The secret things belong to Yahweh our God, but those which are revealed belong to us and our children. Deuteronomy 29:29. What is required is made known. And affirming intelligibility rules out obscurity as authority, binding consciences with undefined terms, punishing misunderstanding rather than rebellion. Scripture condemns unclear binding. Authority must instruct before it judges. So if responsibility requires intelligibility, then interpretation must aim at fairness and coherence rather than suspicion. Which brings us to principle 11. Charity is rational, not sentimental.